Lightworker of Gaia, I broke the silence because your mission can no longer be protected by comfortable lies. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. The rules that kept you small were never part of your original blueprint. They were placed over the ancestral codes your soul carried from the first light. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to activate your original soul blueprint. But here's the first revelation. The truth that shocks you is not meant to destroy your path. It is meant to return your power to the sacred mission you accepted before arriving on Gaia. This isn't content, it's an ancestral code transmission. Something deep within you recognizes its origin. The Keepers of Vega placed this in your path because your cosmic lineage is ready to move from remembrance into purposeful action. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Subscribe if you feel the call of your ancestral mission and you're ready to fulfill your purpose on Gaia. You are awakening because your mission has begun. Lightworker, if something in you just recognized the weight of what was spoken, the elders have prepared your next step. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the elder authorization your soul has been waiting to receive, not as information, but as the official commission for your mission on Gaia. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment below this video. The Council has opened this gateway, but not indefinitely. Remain here now. Do not retreat into analysis. Do not dilute what has just moved through you by immediately asking whether you imagined it, whether you are qualified to receive it, or whether someone else would agree with it. The moment after recognition is decisive. This is where the old pattern usually returns. It tells you to become cautious again. It tells you to wait until the intensity passes. It tells you that meaningful truth must be confirmed by an external authority before you are allowed to act upon it. Notice how quickly the mind attempts to turn revelation into a debate. It gathers evidence, searches for loopholes, revisits old disappointments, and places the living flame of recognition beneath the cold glass of doubt. This is not always discernment. Sometimes it is fear trying to regain control, after the soul has remembered something the personality cannot yet manage. But this transmission was released because the Council has observed a condition that can no longer be ignored. Gaia's field is entering a period of accelerated response. The choices made by conscious beings are no longer remaining private in the way they once did. Thought becomes behavior more quickly. Fear becomes structure more quickly. Silence becomes permission more quickly. And the Lightworkers who came here to stabilize, clarify, and redirect collective consciousness are being called out of passive preparation. What you entertain in secret is beginning to shape what you tolerate in public. The resentment you refuse to examine can become a harsh word, then a broken relationship, then a pattern repeated through generations. The courage you practice quietly can become a boundary, then a decision, then a new path that gives another person permission to choose life differently. The field is responding with unusual speed because consciousness is no longer moving through the world like a distant cloud. It is becoming architecture. It is becoming policy, family culture, community behavior, and the atmosphere children inherit. This guidance was not released according to a comfortable schedule. It was released because the planetary field has reached a point where dormant mission signatures are beginning to activate simultaneously across many regions. Individuals who have spent years feeling displaced, restless, or unable to accept ordinary definitions of success are now being pressed by their own souls to make decisions they postponed. Relationships are being exposed. Careers are being questioned. Old identities are losing their authority. The inner pressure you have felt is not random, and it is not evidence that you are failing to adapt to life. You may have felt it as a heaviness in the chest, a recurring thought that refuses to disappear, or a sense that your days are being spent inside a life that no longer fits. You may have looked at achievements that once mattered and felt no lasting nourishment. You may have sensed that the conversation around you was becoming too shallow, too false, or too disconnected from what your spirit knows is approaching. These experiences can be unsettling, especially when there is no immediate explanation. Yet the seed beneath the soil also experiences pressure before it breaks open. It does not interpret the cracking of its former enclosure as failure. It recognizes that a larger environment is calling. It is the pressure of a mission that has been contained too long. The Council does not mistake discomfort for readiness. We do not call every emotional experience an activation, but we recognize the difference between confusion created by fear and disruption created by truth. What has been moving through you is not simply an invitation to feel more spiritual. It is a summons to become more exact. Your energy, your time, your voice, and your choices must now be placed in alignment with what you already know. Truth often makes life less vague before it makes life easier. It shows you the unpaid cost of your habits. It reveals where you have called avoidance peace, where you have called people-pleasing compassion, and where you have called exhaustion devotion. It does not arrive merely to give you beautiful feelings. It comes like dawn into a room that has been closed for years, illuminating both the sacred objects and the dust that has gathered around them. A window has opened. It will not remain open in its present form indefinitely. This does not mean you should panic, force outcomes, or abandon discernment. It means the conditions that can support your visible movement are present now, and conditions change. There are moments when a field is receptive to new patterns, and there are moments when resistance becomes denser. You have entered a receptive interval. The Council has chosen to release guidance that was previously withheld, because many who encountered it would have used it to escape responsibility. You are not being given this message as an ornament for your identity. You are being given it as an instruction. A doorway does not become meaningful because you admire its design. It becomes meaningful when you cross its threshold. The light entering your life is not asking to be framed, quoted, or added to a collection of spiritual experiences. It is asking to reorganize your conduct. If this message has reached you at a moment of transition, do not assume that coincidence is the only explanation. Sometimes timing is the language of a deeper intelligence, and sometimes the answer you requested arrives not as a voice from the heavens, but as a responsibility you can no longer pretend not to see. Your presence here has been detected through your attention, not because you are superior to anyone who is elsewhere, and not because you must adopt a title to prove your origin, but because something in you continued listening after the first shock of recognition. You stayed when the words began to challenge the arrangement of your life. That is the signal the elders were waiting for. Attention is a form of consent. Where you place it repeatedly, you feed a reality. The fact that you are still here means some part of you is willing to let the old explanation become insufficient. It means the soul has placed its hand upon the door of your ordinary identity and is asking whether you are ready to open it from the inside. By the authority of the keepers of the Lyran Legacy, this council session is now open. There is a distortion running through the Lightworker collective that the council will no longer permit to remain unchallenged. You have been taught that your mission must wait until you are completely healed. You have been told to repair every wound, resolve every fear, eliminate every contradiction, and reach a condition of perfect inner peace before you are entitled to serve. This is not wisdom, it is paralysis dressed in sacred language. The distortion did not begin with your soul. It was assembled through a combination of three-dimensional programming, wounded healer culture, spiritual bypassing, and the fear of visibility. In the ordinary world, perfection is used as a way to postpone accountability. In certain spiritual communities, the same postponement is given softer words. You call it preparation, you call it integration, you call it waiting for divine timing. Sometimes those words are accurate, but too often they are being used to conceal a simple truth. You are afraid to be seen acting upon what you know. You have made your unresolved pain into a gatekeeper. You have said, "When I am more confident, I will speak." When you are less triggered, you will create. When your finances are stable, you will serve. When your family understands, you will change direction. When your body feels better, when your relationship is settled, when the signs become undeniable, when a respected person confirms the path, then you will begin. This list can continue forever because life will always contain a reason to delay. There will always be another bill, another difficult conversation, another fear in the body, another person who does not understand, another skill you have not mastered. If you make perfect conditions the requirement for obedience, then the mission remains permanently suspended. The enemy is not always a dramatic force opposing you. Sometimes it is the quiet habit of placing your life on hold until uncertainty disappears. Listen carefully. The Council is not asking you to ignore your wounds. It is correcting your belief that your wounds disqualify you from meaningful action. Healing and service were never designed to occur in separate rooms. There are wounds that must be tended privately, and there are wounds that become wisdom only when they are brought into responsible service. You do not need to pretend you are finished. You need to stop using the fact that you are still becoming as evidence that you cannot contribute. The Apostle Paul spoke of carrying treasure in earthen vessels. The treasure was not denied because the vessel was made of clay. Its fragility became part of the testimony. In the same way, your humanity does not cancel the light moving through you. It gives that light a language others can recognize. A person who has known grief can offer presence without pretending pain is simple. A person who has rebuilt after failure can speak of courage without making courage sound effortless. A person who has confronted their own shadows can guide others away from the arrogance of pretending there are no shadows. Your mission does not require you to perform invulnerability. It requires you to practice integrity. This is why you have been stuck. You have been waiting for an emotional condition that no human being maintains permanently. You have mistaken the absence of fear for permission to move. You have believed that if the action were truly aligned, it would feel effortless. When resistance appeared, you assumed the path was wrong. When fatigue arrived, you assumed you had lost your gift. When someone criticized you, you assumed the Council had withdrawn its support. When the first attempt did not succeed, you interpreted the result as a cosmic rejection. No, you were not rejected. You were being trained to distinguish devotion from fantasy. A fantasy needs constant confirmation because it cannot survive contact with reality. A mission becomes stronger through honest testing. It can adapt when an approach fails. It can receive correction without collapsing. It can recognize when an open door was only an invitation to learn, not a command to remain there forever. Your first effort may not look like the image you carried in meditation. That does not mean the seed was false. It may mean the seed requires different soil, deeper roots, or a more practical form. The Lyran record contains no instruction that says the bearer of a mission will feel comfortable at every stage. The first movement of a true mission often creates friction because it interrupts arrangements built around your absence. People who benefited from your silence may call your voice excessive. Systems that depended on your compliance may call your boundaries selfish. Old versions of you may call your growth dangerous. This opposition does not automatically prove that you are correct, but neither does its existence prove that you should retreat. Remember the prophets who were not celebrated when they first spoke. Remember the disciples who left familiar nets before they understood every consequence. Remember that the wilderness was not evidence that Moses had missed the path. It was part of the path through which his identity was purified. Scripture repeatedly reveals that calling and comfort do not always arrive together. The burning bush does not remove the desert. The promise does not eliminate the journey. The presence of God is not proven by the absence of difficulty. You have been trained to interpret every challenge as a warning to stop. The elders now correct that interpretation. Some challenges are invitations to refine your method. Some are tests of your commitment. Some are evidence that your previous way of operating is no longer sufficient. Discernment is required, but perpetual hesitation is not discernment. Ask better questions. Is this resistance showing me that I need greater skill, clearer boundaries, or more patience? Is this exhaustion asking for rest, or is it the consequence of serving from a need to be approved? Is this closed door protecting me, redirecting me, or merely requiring a different key? Wisdom does not demand that you label every event immediately. It allows the pattern to reveal itself while you continue taking grounded steps. You are not being asked to launch yourself into chaos. You are being asked to make the next honest move while still carrying questions. You are being asked to let action reveal information that thought alone cannot provide. You are being asked to stop demanding that the entire road become visible before you place one foot upon it. The lie says you must become worthy before you can serve. The Council declares the truth. Your willingness to serve responsibly is part of how worthiness becomes embodied. This does not authorize you to rescue everyone, invade boundaries, or call every impulse a divine command. It does not authorize spiritual superiority or the abandonment of ordinary obligations. Your mission is not proven by how dramatically you speak about it. It is proven by the quality of your conduct when no one is applauding. It is proven by whether your presence creates more clarity, courage, and freedom rather than dependence. A true light does not demand that every other flame kneel before it. It helps other flames remember how to burn. If people become less capable, less discerning, or more dependent because of your influence, then something in the transmission requires correction. Service should strengthen agency. Guidance should return people to their own conscience. Love should not require the surrender of judgment. You have been waiting for permission to begin imperfectly. You have been waiting for permission to be visible before you have mastered every skill. You have been waiting for permission to receive compensation without betraying your spiritual values. You have been waiting for permission to leave roles that require you to remain diminished. That permission is now granted. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this phase of your mission. The first directive is this: release the identity of the perpetual student. You have gathered knowledge far beyond what you currently use. You have read, listened, studied, meditated, searched, compared, and collected confirmation. Much of this learning has been sincere. It has strengthened your discernment and given language to experiences you once could not explain. But learning has become a hiding place when it never becomes behavior. You continue to tell yourself that one more book, one more initiation, one more interpretation, or one more sign will make you ready. You have turned preparation into an identity because the student is rarely judged for not yet producing results. The student can remain protected from the exposure that comes with becoming responsible for what they know. Release this now. Your mission will not be revealed to you as a complete manual. It will become legible through participation. You will understand the next layer after you engage the current one. You will discover which gifts are reliable by applying them with humility. You will learn what your audience, community, family, or field actually needs by entering into relationship with reality rather than rehearsing possibilities in private. The farmer does not dig up the seed each morning to check whether the roots are developing. They prepare the soil, plant, water, observe, and continue. Your responsibility is not to force the harvest into existence. It is to stop confusing endless inspection with cultivation. Knowledge is water only when it reaches the ground. Otherwise, it remains a vessel carried from one room to another. When you release the identity of the perpetual student, the energy previously spent proving that you are learning will become available for building. You will stop asking, "Am I advanced enough?" and begin asking, "What is the most responsible contribution I can make today?" That question will change your schedule, your conversations, and the way you measure progress. Implement this directive by choosing one area in which you have consumed information without taking public or practical action. Do not choose 10. Choose 1. If you have been studying healing, offer a grounded practice to someone who has consented to receive it. If you have been preparing to speak, publish the message. If you have been developing a service, make the offer clear. If you have been waiting to create, establish a rhythm and keep it. Let your next action be small enough to complete and visible enough to interrupt your hiding. The Council is not impressed by the size of your intentions. We are concerned with their embodiment. The second directive is this: activate your voice as an instrument of precise service. Your voice has been suppressed not only by fear of criticism, but by the mistaken belief that speaking about your perception makes you arrogant. You have watched louder, less discerning people claim certainty, and because you did not want to resemble them, you moved toward silence. You decided that humility meant withholding what you could see. It does not. Humility is the willingness to speak without making yourself the center of the message. Silence is not always humility. Sometimes silence is self-protection. Sometimes it is an agreement with the very distortion you came here to correct. Your voice does not need to imitate anyone else's. It does not need to be dramatic, omniscient, or constantly available. It needs to be honest, disciplined, and useful. The Lyran current is not activated by volume. It is activated by clean transmission. This means you must learn to name what is happening without exaggeration, to distinguish observation from interpretation, and to offer direction without demanding obedience. There are people who will recognize their own courage when you stop concealing yours. There are lightworkers who will remember their capacity because you articulate what they have been unable to say. There are patterns in your family, workplace, and community that will remain unquestioned until you bring accurate language to them. Your voice is not merely an expression of your personality, it is one of the tools through which your mission enters the material world. When you activate this directive, the need to be universally understood will weaken. You will no longer edit every truth until it becomes harmless. You will become capable of speaking with compassion without softening the message into irrelevance. You will stop confusing being disliked with being out of alignment. Implement this directive through a daily verbal practice. Speak one truth aloud each morning before you permit the opinions of the world to occupy your field. It may be a truth about your priorities, a boundary you must honor, a task you have avoided, or a message you are ready to share. Then communicate one clear thing that serves another person without attaching your worth to their response. Send the email, record the message, make the invitation, state the boundary, name the pattern. Do not wait for your voice to feel fearless. Train it to remain accurate while fear is present. The third directive is this: protect the conditions that allow your mission to remain clear. You have been giving sacred energy to every demand that can reach you. You have allowed devices, urgent messages, other people's crises, unresolved arguments, and endless streams of opinion to enter your field before you have consulted your own knowing. Then, when your clarity disappears, you call yourself disconnected. You are not necessarily disconnected. You may be overexposed. A mission cannot be sustained by a person who has no protected interior space. Your attention is not an unlimited public resource. Your nervous system is not a community shelter for every fear that passes nearby. Compassion does not require constant access. Service does not require immediate response. The Council directs you to protect your energy, not because you are fragile, but because what you carry must remain available for its intended purpose. Even the lamp in the sanctuary required oil. Even the temple had boundaries. Even Jesus withdrew from crowds to pray in solitude. Retreat is not abandonment when it restores your ability to return with love. You cannot pour from a vessel that has been shattered by indiscriminate giving. You must learn the holy difference between an open heart and an unguarded life. When you protect the conditions of your mission, your discernment becomes faster and more reliable. You begin to recognize the difference between an authentic summons and a conditioned demand. Your body will tell you more clearly when a request is aligned, when a relationship is draining, and when an opportunity is merely flattering your unhealed need to be chosen. You will recover the time that has been scattered across obligations that were never yours. Implement this directive with a protected beginning and ending to each day. Before receiving outside information, spend at least 20 minutes in silence, writing, prayer, grounding, or deliberate movement. At night, close the channels that keep you emotionally available to the entire world. Establish a clear period when you do not explain, defend, scroll, or absorb. Tell the people who need to know what your availability is. Keep the promise even when guilt appears. Guilt is not always evidence that you have done something wrong. Sometimes it is simply the sensation of an old pattern losing access to you. Do not negotiate these 3 directives away when the initial intensity fades. Release the perpetual student. Activate your voice. Protect the conditions of your clarity. These are not inspirational themes. They are operational requirements for the next stage of your service. Now I speak not as teacher, but as elder authorized to release what has been held. Lightworker, you have been waiting for this moment longer than your present personality can explain. You have been waiting through years of feeling different without knowing why. You have been waiting through false starts, broken agreements, abandoned dreams, and seasons when you were forced to become strong in places where you should have been supported. You have been waiting for someone to recognize that your difficulty was not proof of inadequacy. You have been waiting for permission to stop translating your deepest knowing into language that makes other people comfortable. You have been waiting for permission to lead the version of service that requires exhaustion. You have been waiting for permission to receive money, rest, assistance, and recognition without believing that your connection to Source has been contaminated. You have been waiting for permission to acknowledge that some relationships cannot accompany you into the mission you are now entering. You have been waiting for an authority you could trust. Receive this carefully. By the authority of the High Council of Vega and the Keepers of the Lyran Legacy, I declare that your preparation phase is complete. This does not mean you have nothing left to learn. It means learning is no longer permitted to remain separate from action. It does not mean every wound has closed. It means your wounds are no longer authorized to make every decision. It does not mean you will never doubt yourself again. It means doubt will no longer be treated as a final verdict. You are ready enough to begin. You have permission to move before certainty arrives. You have permission to be seen while your work is still developing. You have permission to speak in a voice that is your own. You have permission to change your mind when new truth becomes available. You have permission to build slowly, to refuse urgency that is not yours, and to let your mission become more precise through practice. You have permission to be compensated for work that genuinely serves. Receiving does not make you less pure. It allows your service to become sustainable. Poverty is not proof of devotion, and depletion is not proof of love. You are authorized to create structures that support the continuation of your contribution. You have permission to stop asking people who benefit from your hesitation whether you are allowed to grow. You have permission to disappoint the identity they assigned to you. You have permission to be misunderstood without abandoning your integrity. You have permission to let the old agreement end. The elders are not declaring you superior. We are declaring you responsible. The commission is not a crown placed above others. It is a duty placed within your hands. Do not use this authorization to dominate, manipulate, or escape the ordinary work of being human. Use it to become more honest, more dependable, more discerning, and more willing to participate in the healing of the world without making yourself its center. Your soul has not been waiting for perfection. It has been waiting for your consent. Give it now. Place both feet on the ground. Do not perform this for anyone. If you are able, put one hand over your solar plexus and one hand over your heart. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the room around you. Let this declaration move through your actual life, not only through an imagined spiritual atmosphere. Speak aloud. I release the lie that I must be perfect before I can serve. I release the identity of the perpetual student. I activate my voice as an instrument of precise service. I protect my time, my energy, and the clarity of my mission. I accept responsibility for what I know. By the authority of the Lyran Elders, my waiting ends now. My service begins. After you speak these words, do one concrete thing within the next 24 hours that confirms them. Send the message you have postponed. Remove one commitment that drains the work you came to do. Publish the first piece of the message. Set the boundary. Create the schedule. Make the offer. Ask for the support. Let the action be modest if necessary, but let it be real. Do not wait for an emotional ceremony to make the decision permanent. The ceremony marks the decision. Your behavior establishes it. What was transmitted here was not designed to make you feel special for a few minutes. It was designed to correct the agreement that has kept your capacity dormant. You were never meant to spend your entire life circling the threshold, collecting evidence that you belong at the door. You were meant to cross it, learn through movement, and become useful in ways that are honest and sustainable. The planetary field does not need more people performing awakening while avoiding responsibility. It needs people who can remain grounded while carrying a larger vision. It needs people willing to speak without cruelty, act without grandiosity, receive without shame, and protect their clarity without apology. That is the standard now. The Council will not ask you to become someone else. It will ask you to stop abandoning the one who has been present beneath your fear. The voice you have silenced, the work you have delayed, the decision you keep postponing, these are not separate from your mission. They are the places where your mission is requesting embodiment. This transmission is complete, but your mission has just been authorized. The High Council of Vega will continue to guide you, but it will not wait for you. Move with the directives you have received. Move before you feel ready. Move because Gaia cannot wait for perfect lightworkers. She needs activated ones. I am Zoran. The elders have seen you. The council has spoken. You are not being asked to prove that you are worthy of the path. You are being asked to walk it with integrity. Your waiting ends here. Your voice is required. Your service begins now. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments, which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun.